Hey, what is up everybody? How are you doing? Thanks for checking out Bluefoot Homestead. Got a little smudge on my camera. Any support for the channel is awesome, and yes, another drone video. One of 4.5 million videos that are out there on YouTube right now. But as I always do, I'm gonna look at it in a little different way. Maybe get some people thinking. So I put the video out Saturday. Saturday morning I recorded it. A lot has happened over that weekend and throughout the week so far. A lot of information's come out. A lot of people are stepping up and talking about it. We got that guy from Stark Enterprise or whatever, the guy that makes the drones for the military, says it's going to be one of a couple different things. You know, everybody's coming out and talking about it. Now our government has been coming out and talking about it, playing us as fools, basically, that we don't know what a drone is, that you can just go buy some $75 million Delta Wing drone that can fly for 10 hours straight at your local Best Buy. I don't know, they're disconnected. But one thing that they said is it is not a military asset. These drones are not military assets. And that is kind of interesting because it very well may be true, as it very well may be by the hands of our military that are doing this. Now, if you just look at an asset is something that you purchase that will hold value or gain value. So a drone, you buy a drone for $1 million, you use it for a couple years, is it worth $2 million? No, it's probably worth $500,000. It's been worn, you know, just like a vehicle. A vehicle is a liability, not an asset. So in that aspect, these drones are not assets, period. No drone is an asset. The drone I own is not an asset, it's a liability. So they kind of play the words there. Another thing is they could be contracting out the job. They could be using a contractor to fly these drones, do all the dirty work on searching things out and stuff like that. Therefore, the military does not have their hand on the trigger. You know what I'm saying? So yes, that could very well be true. That does not mean that the military is not organizing and doing this whole thing. It just means that they're not making money on the drones, and it could also be a contractor doing it. So yeah, that could be true. A lot of the stuff that's coming out on TV is just kind of a joke. You know, of course, we have people coming out. Joe Rogan's come out and say that he's concerned, and, you know, I guess everybody has to listen to what he has to say. You know, and of course, the Sean Ryan show in that episode really sparked a lot of interest in it. A lot of people doing research into it. But here's an important thing. I brought up that they were flying over water, military installations and stuff like that. Now, military installations, sure, that's where they're taking off from, that's where they're landing. So you're going to see things over the Army bases or Air Force bases, Space Force bases, whatever they are using to launch these drones. Take it up, no lights, it's quiet, move it over a couple miles, pop it on. Oh crap, they're, you know, watching the Air Force base, and okay, now they moved over to somewhere else. I mean, it's not really this hard to mask it to make it look like something else. I'm sure if there were 24-hour cameras with infrared and night vision and everything, they could possibly detect it, even though I guess there's some that aren't showing up on thermal and they're not putting a thermal signature out. Okay. But they're hanging out over water installation. Now there's a big fear that it's looking for nuclear matter, warheads, stuff for a dirty bomb or something like that. The whole FedEx thing, calling BS on it, that's my world. If something came up missing or anything like that, it's pinpointed within probably a half an hour on exactly where that would be and what happened. So calling BS on that. Some storage container that showed up at the shipper or the receiver, damaged with nothing in it, yeah, possible, but I also don't think that some MRI machine or a CAT scan machine is gonna bring this kind of concern. I'm sure it happens now and then. You're not sending up 400 drones to look for it. You're gonna send out a couple investigators from the shipping company to try to find out where it is. If not, they gotta fork up the $2.5 million for the machine, pay the hospital, everybody's happy. Okay, so I'm calling BS on that. Being that they are over water, okay, water is a great insulator of radiation. It is a great way to hide something of radiation that you want to hide. Now, a warhead does not put off a lot of radiation. It's enclosed. You can work around them all day long and you're not going to die. I mean, you're going to get a little bit more radiation than just the regular atmosphere or something like that, but it's safe to work around them. It's safe to be around them. It's not putting out a lot of radiation. Now, just as a warhead, yes, I'm sure that we'll be able to pick up the signature of that, no problem. But if you enclose it into glass, so my father worked in the industry, I'll just say. He did some jobs doing cleanups for spent fuel rods in the nuclear power plants, regional, and the way that they make it safe is by enclosing it in about 3 feet of glass. Now, when you enclose it in glass, it puts off 0 signature. It would be really easy, somewhat easy, to be able to get a couple warheads, enclose them in glass, and drop them down into the bottom of a lake. Now, the water itself is also going to insulate any radiation signature that it might put out, which it's not even going to be putting out any. It barely puts out any just in the open. So you have a double assurance by putting something in water. Waste treatment plants, that would be the last place you'd look for a nuclear warhead, right? Go digging through the shit looking for nukes. Could be a possibility in the bottom of a reservoir. They're extremely deep. You could even have one ready to be activated to where you could pretty much just pop on a cell phone and launch that thing off. Drop one in Hudson Bay, the Hudson River, right next to the Statue of Liberty. Now, this is a very good possibility. Just being that they were searching water is very interesting because it really pushes me towards a nuclear incident. And of course, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and all those fine young folks over there, assholes, really, want to definitely up 9/11. They definitely want to make it bigger, better, more dramatic and all that. This would be a good way to do it. Now, another thing that they could be looking for that I kind of mentioned in my first video is they have a lot of sensors. Now, our military has technology and things in their arsenal that we are completely clueless of. We have no idea that it exists. It would blow our mind if we knew the capabilities of what our military can do. So I don't doubt at all that they could have been sniffing out biological warfare. We have the Chinese labs that were here that everybody already forgot about. We have this going on in our country. It could be sniffing out chemical warfare, anything like that. Just as nasty, if not nastier, than a nuke going off in a city, because it's going to be a longer process and it's going to be a lot more gruesome and violent. It would strike a lot more fear into people if 50% of our population dropped dead. I think it's a very real possibility. But either way, the way the government's acting, the way our authorities are acting, our talking heads, all these yahoos that are trying to play us for fools, they're trying to definitely hide something. And they're trying to hide something very important. Otherwise, they would give us a little something, you know. Just like when Russia launched something and put it right above the United States, that was an extreme threat. They just left it at that. Nothing to see here. Yeah, they just put a nuke above us, but nothing to see here. Maybe an EMP. And then everybody forgot about it, so success. That's probably the same thing that's going to go on here if they don't find anything, or if they do find anything, we'll never find out about it. And then we'll just forget about it and go along our merry little lives till the next thing comes up. But I honestly think it probably has something nuclear to it, chemical or biological of some sort. Either way, it's going to be really nasty if this plan comes into play. There's a very good chance of it, because what are we going to do? And what are we going to do after the fact? If terrorists come in and they were able to activate 5 nuclear bombs in our country in major cities, what are we going to do? Even if it's by the hand of Russia or China as a proxy, which they said that they're doing. Are we going to go in and nuke Russia and nuke Moscow, Beijing, Shanghai? No. No. It's kind of a perfect little plan. Were we going to go in and start a war in Afghanistan? Yeah, well, we know how that went. So it's a good plan. Whatever it is going to be very effective if it actually does happen, and God bless us all if it does. But yeah, I kind of wanted to bring up kind of how I'm feeling about it now. I wanted to bring up the fact that they were checking out water. That's a very big deal, I think. And not to forget about chemical and biological agents. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty. So some other things to think about. I know everybody has a video out over the drones. Everybody has about 10 videos out over the drones. But hey, this is my second. I just wanted to kind of touch base on where I'm feeling about things. I always think about what other people do not think about. Like it could be, trying to hunt down biolabs because they're ready to act. Who knows? Anyway, I will leave it with that. Hell, hopefully everybody's having a good day. It's kind of hard to have good days these days when you got your mind just going in this direction, down these rabbit holes, but we got to do our best, right? All right. Till then, I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.